Kako, are you here somewhere? Yes, you are, and you have your mic on. That's perfect. Up on stage with you. We're going to dig into side streams, more side streams here. We love side streams. Um, so, Yukako, come up here. I will hand you this clicker. This is for you.
Okay.
And thank you for coming all the way to Sweden
Thank you
to
so
talk
much.
about toilets
Oh,
and some other things as well.
Artist.
So I'll give the floor to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Johan. Thank you for this great opportunity. I'm really appreciated to be a part of great people like changing and shift the global food ecosystem like you guys. And let me talk about, are you seeing my presentation now? Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to talk about this issue, shit. But I hope not talking shit. I hope to talk about more about something, profitable, something about, ignore resources on Earth. So let me briefly explain about what we do and who we are. So we are the GAN, Genuine Education Network, founded in 2014 in Milano. As an intercultural education provider, for enable professional to develop traditional ecological knowledge based of creativity and combined with the practical skill that for solution of the most complex issue today for sustainability. So we have unique kind of design and bespoke type of program for the professional. Many of them are the chef or food producer. And we have been successfully participated, got participants from over 30 different countries so far. But we actually kind of quite, flexible and wide range. And we also have a program for the architects and the designer who wish to reach to the ecological knowledge of, using like a natural material or, access to the ecological wisdom in the local society. So we really try to enable them to interact with the genuine knowledge in the local society for the next innovative solution. So in 2020, we step out into the new type of adventure. We formed a consortium called Genoa. And this is among EU companies and Japanese company together to creating a restoration of the soil through the most advanced biotechnology. Then we really aim to create a comprehensive solution to shift all industry to create the better soil for the better future for all of us. So we have to kind of two different kind of institution and approach, like one from the education, the other one from like kind of execution to creating the better soil and better solution through the biotechnology. But we really have focused the same things that increasing biodiversity and society's overall food resiliency and security in the local society. So we want to improve food human self-sufficiency by discovering and utilizing resources that have been largely ignored in our society. I think in the previous session, Martin mentioned about underutilized species. So we really also are focusing on, how we, reactivate to use those underutilized things in our community and our society. So I think some of you already know, but in biology term, this is called NUS. So this is stand for neglected, so underutilized species. So, this is something we are tackling now, and we have 30,000 different species on Earth, like who are identified as edible. But we are only depending on only 103 species to cultivate it, and 90% of our calorie and the diet. So it is too risky, without the biodiversity to creating a community like that. So what we see as the most dangerous is the monoculture. So monoculture mean is quite obvious in your left-hand side, you know. This is like what we are seeing in most of the case, you know, as a large scale of agriculture. So we really have to shift in the polyculture with kind of creating like co-exist and co-prosper environment to creating mutually sustained, you know, system in our ecology. So let me say that even like what we are quite, you know, see as a neglected resources in one place, but actually there is a kind of the species what is being used, historically used, you know, quite well in the other culture and other, you know, country. And this is something I can share with you from example from my country in Japan. So, for example, something very invasive species, like in knotweed, you see? Have you ever seen
Yep.
in your neighborhood?
Yep.
Yeah? This is quite, you know, proactively, you know, grown and then really invasive, but you are totally ignore and then you never even think about to eat this greens. But we are traditionally use it a lot in our traditional cuisine. We making a stew and we making a really nice dessert with this. And the other example is like horse chestnuts. This is totally toxic. And it's contain the component called saponin. And so it's quite astringent and it's not really, you know, fancy to eat. But traditionally Japanese old lady, you know, established a kind of technology to apply to remove those astringency and toxic component out and make it, you know, this inedible to edible. And the other things I could say, this seaweed, maybe this is also, you know, relatively underused still in the European countries, but we use a lot, not only as a food, but also as a medicine and a fertilizer. So we really see that this is quite, you know, upcoming kind of new resources to develop in different country. So who is the flag bearer of, you know, turn something inedible to edible? So we really see that this is our chef and the food producer who really appreciate that, you know, traditional ecological knowledge to turn those material into this modern society and modern table. So we are so happy to announce that we're going to launch the new program soon about regenerative native chef. And this is going to be our quite international challenge to bring that the chef has a perception of, you know, wild food and foraging skill to bring together to develop that the local traditional wisdom in Asian country to exchange, you know, to native technology together. And we also have planned to open the new platform in near Tokyo, just out the skirt of Tokyo, and also one in near the Osaka, the west side of Japan, to creating this platform and connecting to the, you know, European, you know, innovative chefs groups to make enhance our activity more in next few years. So I don't know how much time I left, but I have to talk about this issue. This is the main subject of today. So this is, I believe, shit is the most, you know, neglected resources in our society right now. So human waste is generally considered as, of course, dangerous and unsanitary and should be buried in the society. But from the point of view of many non-human organics like bees or animal, I think this usefulness is so obvious. And human excrement contains a mass of many natural, natural resources such as phosphorus and nitrogen, and this is something we really have to use it for the next, step. And I think many of you know this kind of health checklist of the planet, and this is, I think, here, Stockholm, there's a great doctor called Johan Luxdorf. It's not you, but Resilience Center here in Stockholm invented this planetary boundary concept. So you see this lead cycle area about biogeochemical, like phosphorate and nitrogen. This, examination was done in 2015, so 7 years ago. But it's already super exceeded. This biogeochemical make a huge problem of climate change and climate situation. So this is something, of course, what is the cause? This is a chemical fertilizer we use a lot for the agriculture. This ran off to the mountain and the sea and everything, everywhere, accumulated. So some of the EU recent research said we already have reached to the kind of over limit, 3.3 times more phosphorus and 2 times more higher than nitrogen that we can accept in a planetary boundary system. So we definitely shouldn't increasing and scientifically create those phosphate and nitrogen anymore. So where we can find out the natural those biogeochemical, this is sewage. So we should really try to find out those naturally existed phosphorus and the nitrogen to our society to create some healthier ecosystem to use, bring it back those nutrients to the soil. So we are so happy to announce that our current project to tackling with this issue, which is not about not about biotechnology only, but we are trying to redesign the whole system of using those, naturally existed phosphorus and nitrogen back to the society. So this is a biotoilet for augmented ecosystem. And then we could say this is not only a biotoilet, this is a kind of system to, rebuild our society. And you see, this is not the new things in our society in Japan. Looking back 300 years in Edo period, this is samurai age, that we have quite highly established the society to appreciate those human waste for as a center of nutrients. And then we really could successfully create this perfect circulation from the soil to the table to the toilet, among this Edo city. So Edo city is quite dense and most populated city in the world at that time, like London and Paris. But compared to those other, dense cities, it's quite, characterized that it's maybe sanitary, system was highly established.
But Yukako, now I have to jump in here because we don't have so much time
Yeah,
left.
yeah,
But
sure.
what we see here on this image here is that you trade shit for money or vegetables back then. I also would like to chime in. So the reasons why we had very fertile soils around big cities back in the days is, of course, that we took shit and put it on the soils, right?
Yeah.
And so now we're talking about doing the same thing again.
No. No, this is not the same thing again. So what we need to do is, of course, we cannot really split it out our human waste directly onto the ground. And today our diet has drastically changed. So our food contain a lot of chemical and heavy metal. It's affect to the quality of our human waste as well. So we really have to apply the right treatment, the right, application to shift this shit into the goal to our society, and which I could find out that the technology in Japan to use the multiple type of microorganism to completely decompose, the human waste into the purified water. That is totally new things, and that is something we have to also refine with international network like you guys.
Okay, so basically what you say, you have, I don't know if you have some more slides there.
Yeah, but I can go for it.
Yeah, we
Of
can
course,
talk about the Edo period, etc.
Yeah, Edo period.
But okay, so basically what you're telling me now, that you've come up with a series of methods in order to turn human excrements into valuable fertilizer for soils.
Yes, exactly. And this is something totally ignored and neglected in many countries, but that is something I think we see as a big solution to shifting our world. Then, of course, technology has been updated. In Edo period, we also have kind of primitive technology to using those human waste for the agriculture, but it's been updated a lot. And now we are having several partnership with, very innovative partner with Cineco. This is.
I'm sorry, we don't have time to get into Cineco
yeah,
right
sure.
now.
I think so. So just let me know if you are interested in more. This is also about anti-monoculture approach. We using like creating the system to co-prosper. All those like microorganisms and elements to regenerate that holistic environment. And then I could see the similar in the sake brewing, technique in my country. This is also using, like not only enzyme and lactic acid. We are like, co-creating the environment to prosper those multiple organisms together to create this, quite important food products. Yeah. So I think we are qualified to, update this type of, complex fermentation system in the modern society now. So we decided to, execute this idea into our new bio-toilets project, which is going to set up near Tokyo in next year. So that's going to be the most beautiful toilet with most advanced biotechnology to totally, decompose what we see as our, neglected resources today to purify water, even in a drinkable level. But it still contains a lot of rich nutrients like phosphate and nitrogen. So we already have scientific evidence of that is for really making a good value for the soil health.
That is absolutely wonderful, and unfortunately that would have to be our final picture now. Oh no, that was the final picture.
Yes,
okay, thank you so much, Yokako.
Thank
Shit
you so
is
much.
gold in the future.
Yeah, hope to make it fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Lovely. Okay, so now we go over to Henry Gordon Smith from Agritecture, and he's online. I look at the tech team and hope that, yes, I get the thumbs up. Urban side streams.